Okay. Before we proceed to start, I would like just make a clarification. I think it would be good that everyone contributes today, and we make it more like a session that we are discussing things. There's nothing like wrong or right. We trying to learn all of us. So yeah, I think it would be good and great when it feels like most of us are collaborating, and also the discussion is kind of more lively when that's happening. All right. So this is where we left at yesterday. I think so. We before we just decide to proceed, we need that adjustment and then proceed from there. Yeah. Also, I thought we have an issue on having a date blank. Majority of us are having when we click on this slicer, we're having, I think, this more sources to go. Just something came into my mind in how if we have a deeper look at this date of completion and we change maybe slicer setting somewhere and see what we have here. Change this to a drop down. In this date of completion, we will have three columns. We'll have, information. So we'll have a blank, and then we have these two dates, start dates, and also I think end dates. So when we moved the slicer, we were having the blank, and that was, I think, one of the causes to our dilemma last time. On top of that,
is your screen okay?
We can also make sense in the essence that whatever data we have here have the project that date of completion for the project in each one. Off. He said off. Is my screen visible?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, visible.
Yes, it is.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Your screen is visible.
I was wondering. Someone said my screen is not visible. I had something like that.
Maybe on his end, but on ours it is visible.
All right, perfect. Yeah, perfect, great. Yeah, so these sources to go, we actually find this as yes. I think I just wanted that confirmation. Thank you. Maybe if you can maybe identify who that person was, maybe you can tell him it's an issue from his side and not some of the projects that have a backlog and have not been completed, and we choose dates of completion for that. Of course, we expect this more sources to go to be blank because those projects have not been completed. So these are the date of completion. So that's why I think moving this slicer was actually having an issue. And in this slicer we had blank and also start date and early date. I think that was one of the issues I think we were having earlier. All right. So let me just bring this to the way it was for those who joined us, so that they don't get confused on what we're doing. Okay, we will proceed. I think we will have slide 26. Yeah, our reader, we can continue reading.
You may need to zoom your screen a bit.
Or someone else to volunteer if she's not in.
You may need to zoom your screen a bit.
This fine?
Ahmed, you may need to zoom your screen a bit.
Okay, is this fine? I've zoomed it.
No,
Not yet.
no, fine.
I have zoomed it. I think do I need to further on this?
It's fine
This is
now.
better.
Okay, I think that this should be enough. Is it visible from your end, Rhea?
Yes, it is
Okay,
visible.
yeah.
Perhaps you
Then
can try to scroll
Okay.
to the left so that all the wordings are visible. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think. All right. Thank you. Correct. I need to reload this so that the rest of the pages are also visible at once. Let me just download this. That would be easier. Oh. Yeah, it's loading, so we can just proceed. I think as it loads, we can work with the ones that are viewed right now. When it loads, I'll proceed. It's also downloading, so I think there's an issue with the machine is kind of being slow. Wow.
Maybe you can try to download so that you can use Word, because I think that it loads once.
I'm unsure. Yes. I'm trying to I'm trying to download it. It's loading. I don't know why it's being this way, and it's been fine all this time. So whenever we start these sessions, is when actually problems just wait itself and then to manifest itself here. I don't understand why.
Yeah, there's no problem. You just
Normally,
wait.
all other times everything is fine. Even my machine doesn't have any issues. But the moment we get into discussing and presenting, yeah. I mean, I think also it could be a reason. It could be this presenting could maybe.
Or someone to send you on WhatsApp maybe the downloaded file.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe someone to share with me, and then I'll download it from WhatsApp. Yeah. That'd be okay. So I try and stop, and then I download it from WhatsApp. If someone has shared it on the group, that would be helpful.
I'm linking my WhatsApp to the computer. Just in a few, I'll share. Perhaps if nobody has shared.
Okay.
I've shared it in the group.
You have shared?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Just
great.
check in the group of the study group.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. That's normally how I'll present in a second. Okay, so we left it at slide 26. Yes, now we may proceed, and our reader can start reading. Thank you for being patient with my machine. Yeah, I don't know why the problem is just pile up when I'm actually doing this, not any other time. Right, thank you. So we may proceed. Our reader can start reading. If she's not around, someone else can volunteer. What's happening?
I'm muted. Do you try zooming?
Do we have everyone?
Up.
All right, please do.
From page what? From page what are we reading? What page?
Abby.
Yes.
You try zooming? Okay.
Yeah, we're reading from what I'm presenting basically from 26, 4th January. Yes, Steve.
Okay, let me read.
Okay.
Hello, it's been a while. After a year of upgrades, we have an update on our data. And now you will see the power of a dashboard. So let's get it going. Here is the new data up to 2024. First, that MD Water Services data. It's an Excel file. And here is a visual I made to show how the sources are being upgraded across Majindogo. Overwrite the last Excel file with this one.
Okay.
Link it as the new source.
Abdi. Abdi Kadir.
Okay. So we overwrite or we link it. Yes.
Can you try to repeat that part of the slides, maybe before you proceed, or is it ahead?
Yes.
That
Nehemiah,
part.
are you able to hear me?
Maybe there's a delay on your end because I can hear you well.
Oh.
I think there's a delay.
Abdi is having a delay because he's getting us after some few minutes.
Yeah.
Or I can join with the phone, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know the issue is like that. Yeah.
Perhaps you can try to join in with the phone so that you can use
could
the
be a
mic.
reason of, I think my network could be that we are having an issue. Okay. Let me join with the, okay.
Yeah, you can join in with the phone, and then you mute the PC speaker, so that I think we can get you in real time.
Okay. Okay. That's what I'm actually doing right now. I'm joining with the phone. Give me a second. Nehemiah? I'm actually joined with the phone right now. Am I audible?
Hello, I can
That's
hear you.
better.
Hello?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's better. Yes.
Okay, I think that's fine. That's better.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's
So
proceed.
I was asking, before you proceed, that part of the slide, how did you resolve it? Or maybe it's ahead, the slide, that part. You are trying to explain and I didn't get it clearly.
Okay. Yes, this we were having this issue where when we actually move the slider,
Yes,
we
yes.
will get like this more sources becomes blank, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's visible from. I'm trying to present with my laptop. Like I can't see it from my phone. Yeah, okay. I think now it's lagging. I think the laptop is lagging behind because with the phone it's fine. I can see my screen from my phone, and I have already done something on the screen. Now, yeah, I think the issue we're having is my screen is kind of slow, so I'll have to move a bit slow as well. So yeah, I was saying when you move the slider, it becomes actually blank. So the issue is like we wanted to know what we have here. I tried maybe looking for a reason to actually understand what the source of the issue was. And if you go to the drop down menu and see what info we have in the date of completion, we'll have a blank and we have a date start of 2022 and then 2023. That is DEC to Jan. So when we move, these are the dates for completion. So when we move that bar, of course, you would expect to get something blank, because these more sources to go are projects yet to be completed. Those are having backlogs. So and the data we have for the maps and the towns here are for those projects that have been completed. So for you not to have this actually more sources to go, you can just clear this section. And of this, when you clear the session, to come back to the way it was. So that is actually what I was just explaining. It's nothing much explanation. It's just yeah.
You are clearly in what?
Simple.
What was it that you were?
So for instance, if I do a selection like this,
Yes.
If I do selection for blank,
Yes.
I'll have a blank here. If I do for a year, for a date of completion, I'll have values for this, but I don't have anything here on more sources, because here more sources to go with my understanding is that these are projects that have backlogs, not completed yet. And the dates we have here are dates for completion, right? Dates of completion. Yes.
Oh, I get it. Thank you.
Yeah. Now we can just make that clear. When you clear it, just comes back to it. And yeah, we can take this slicer to look like the way it did initially. Yes, I think that was just the expense. So my screen is kind of slow, so hopefully you bear with it, because I'm also seeing from my end that actually there's a difference in actually the visuals. Whenever I actually do something, it moves pretty much slowly. Is that okay, Nehemiah? Can you move from that?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah, what we also did is like here some of costs by aggregated improvements. We had cumulative costs here in the x-axis, so we changed that to sum of the costs. Yep, okay. That's the other correction from our last discussion. All right, so if you have, we can also take an overview of what we have here. So if we click, for example, in this province called Akatsi, what does it give us? We will see here we don't have a cost overrun, meaning that we have the budgeted costs, like we budgeted this project for $45,675, and the cumulative cost, meaning that so far the money that was spent on this project is $44,946. Yes. Yeah. Actually, I think my screen is kind of slow, and it's so annoying because I'm sure it's very inconvenient for many people to track what I'm saying and what I'm actually pointing out. What my mouse is pointing. So, yeah. So that is, for example, that is an example of Akatsi. If we go to Kilimani, and then we see if we have we are also still in check, because we haven't spent more than what we should spend on the projects in Kilimani, as well as Amanzi. Let's also check Amanzi. Amanzi also we are actually plus 7.18% within the cost, or we call it deficit. Not deficit, it's kind of confusing, but within the budget. Hawassa, let's also check Hawassa. Hawassa also we are still in check, plus 2.43% within our budgeted costs. Sokoto, let's check Sokoto. Sokoto is where we have negative 11%, 11.4%, 45% cost overrun. So this cost overrun, meaning that we budgeted these projects for around 42,000, but we've already so far spent on cumulative cost of 46,811. That means we have a cost overrun of about 11.55%. Yeah. That is just just overview of what we're doing, and to understand on how the costs are actually distributed as far as provinces are concerned. All right. Hopefully that is at least a recap of what we did initially, and at least we can get a feel and a touch of what we have been doing, whether it was right or wrong, and then we may proceed. Is that okay? Someone to give me a go ahead. Am I?
It's fine. We can proceed.
All right. Thank you. All right, Eve can take over. Sorry, you read us this. Let me just read again. So it says, hello, it has been a while. After a year of upgrades, we have an update on our data. And now you will see the power of my dashboard. So let's get it going. Here is the new data up to 3rd January 2024. So we are given a data here. And then here is a visual I made to show how the sources are being uploaded across Magindogo. Do we need to check this video before I start downloading the data?
You can download as it continue to download. You can watch that video. We can watch.
All right.
Is it a long video? I didn't check.
No, it's not a long video. It's it's not too significant, but you can watch it if you want to.
Okay. I think you can
All
begin
right.
with the download. Or someone again to download and send you on WhatsApp. Will it manage to download?
Yeah, here it's taking time. Actually, I have already downloaded that file, so I should
drop it? Should I drop it on WhatsApp? Should I drop it on WhatsApp?
Yes, sure. You can.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Just see if it has loaded. It has not yet.
Or maybe also someone to download the video and then you watch. You present via the VLC.
Yeah.
Is it downloadable, that file?
For the video, if you have the IDM, yes. If someone has an IDM, you can easily download it. Now the problem is I don't even understand why it is taking all this long to just open a new page, and that is not helping me at all. If you have the video, you can share it on WhatsApp. I'll open here on WhatsApp and probably present that itself.
Maybe the neighbors are using your Wi-Fi. You can try to to remove them and then you'll add them after the session perhaps. Maybe it's too congested.
Okay, let me see. Let me see what's happening. I think there's an issue with the machine rather than the Wi-Fi.
Or even you can try to clear your browser, not even browser, your machine cached data. Maybe that is why it's like eating up on your RAM.
Okay. If you have, okay.
Click on Control then R. Control R if you are on Windows.
Yes.
Then you type Control R.
Yes, I'm trying to actually.
And then you type yes.
Yep, Control R, right.
And then you type in %temp
%.
Control plus R. Not Control actually. It is Windows logo, Microsoft logo, and then R. Sorry, Microsoft logo R.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we said % what? Sorry.
Take that run up there. It's
that run. You can run the other thing.
No, remove pass.
Remove pass.
%.
What you do, just click on Microsoft logo plus R. Then I think it will display something.
Yeah, it's lagging so much that even if I
that thing.
Second time.
Click on that run up.
It's taking long. I couldn't even click on that. Yeah. Wow.
Excuse, if somebody has downloaded the videos, they just share it and then you download the file and then you continue from there. They share their screen. It will be easier, I think.
Okay. Yeah, for the file, okay. This will be easier. someone else to present the Okay, it won't happen. We can't present both of us. So I don't know what we will do.
There type %, yeah, that one. Then try to clear those files. You can even clear everything. Control A,
Yeah.
then okay. Has someone shared the file in the group or?
It's the video. It's the link to the video.
Not should be the video itself so that you can download it, because I think he has the issue maybe with the internet or this computer. Or perhaps I think I have IDM. Let me try to download.
No.
Is
Now
it something significant or it's just
it's just a visual. It's showing what's happening. I think time lapse of the actually Imagine logo. Yeah. So yeah, it's loaded, but let me just reload this page and then hopefully it's better than before. Or someone else, if they have just do this for the videos. Someone else can actually just present and we watch through that person as I figure out what this issue. And this video is I think a minute or 2 minutes of time lapse. Yeah, someone else who has already has it opened can just present.
Okay, let me get it and then yeah, I think I can present.
Yeah, just do it, please.
You can stop maybe sharing, then
yeah, stop sharing.
and then maybe another option, maybe there's some background programs which are running. You can try, as I try to project, you can try to reboot so that you can close maybe those programs, or you can close them in the task manager. But you can reboot. I think that's the easiest way.
Right.
You guys, you can see the screen. Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can see the screen.
I don't think it will share the. I don't think it will share the audio. Let me share the window. I think the window it will be fine. Let me try to share the window. Should be share tab. Should be tab. So you can see better. You can see now. Hello, can you confirm with me?
Yes, you can see.
And that the audio maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
The audio is fine.
Okay.
What is that?
What did you just watch?
Yes?
What did we just watch?
I'm also wondering.
I told you that the video was not significant.
Uh, is Abdi done, or we can
Yes, yes.
replay again?
That's fine. That's fine. Actually, what we just watched is time lapse of distribution of, I think, the projects that actually been done in
Yes.
every town, and when each project was completed. I think that's what we just watched. It's funny. It wasn't very important, but yeah.
Oh,
it
okay.
makes sense.
Oh, thank you. Let me stop sharing then. You can take it now.
All right, let me just present. Let's make this session to be more productive by all of us engaging. I think that would be really, really great. So feel free if you feel like raising any issue, adding any comments or thing that you find very important. All right, so we're at this point where now we say we need to overwrite the. Is it visible? Sorry, I've presented already. Is it visible?
Yeah, it's very visible.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we need to overwrite the last Excel file with this one, or we need to link it as a new source. So I prefer using the latter by linking it with the new source. So let me just do that. So we go to transform, then change source.
And before that, Abdi.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Your cumulative costs.
Okay.
Just kindly close this tab.
Okay. Yes, cumulative cost.
Yeah, you're getting some negative. Is it 2.7%?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why I'm getting something different.
What are you getting?
some negative 75%.
Okay, are you on the national level, or you have chosen any have you made any kind of for example checked for any provinces?
Not really.
Okay, does your
How many cumulative costs do we have in the data set?
Sorry?
How many cumulative costs do we have?
The pie chart.
Not really the pie chart, like where we
This
have
one
the
down here.
budget, 131,915.
And 15, yes, and the cumulative and the budget.
Let me just check something.
I think the
It's
budget
cumulative cost and cumulative budget by date of completion. Yes.
Okay, what do you have here? Budget, like what's their budget? For example, here we have 128 or 50 hours. What do you have there?
My budget is like 75,075.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the difference. That's where the problem coming from.
Okay.
Maybe you've filtered.
I have filtered.
Check your filters, maybe on the provinces, somewhere there.
Actually, nothing is filtered on my report. Okay.
Is your cumulative budget like the DAX, is it similar to ours?
Let me just check the cumulative budget.
Okay.
Or you can share your screen perhaps so we see what you're doing.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
We can.
yes.
Yeah, now I have like, is it 75? Let me check the ducks.
If you could click on that Nini, on that card.
Okay, so this is my ducks for the cumulative budget.
Okay, can we see your budget improvement cost column on the progress table? Like the column, not the ducks.
Just a minute. Let it load. Yeah, it's taking a bit of time, but yeah. Yeah, this is my budget improvement cost column.
Yeah, that one is okay.
If I check my cumulative cost ducks, is there anything different with yours?
I think your cumulative cost is okay because it's giving 131. So what
Yeah.
you need to check is maybe the cumulative budget that is giving you 75.
Now this is my cumulative budget.
Yes, this is the one that has an issue. So if you on line 7 is where you're supposed to have, instead of having budgeted improvement cost, you're supposed to have rate of completion. And also in line 5, also you're supposed to have, even line 5, you're supposed to have rate of completion. And line 6, of course.
Also, this one should have everything date of completion, line 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
For the last part, where you're filtering for the rate of completion, the marks you leave it as the way it is.
Sorry?
In line 6, you only change the first budgeted improvement cost to rate of completion.
Okay. Okay.
You can't. I don't think you need to type it. Change the fifth line to date of completion. Then the rest, the 6th and 7th line will pick it by itself. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let me stop sharing and I'll check it. If that's okay.
You've already begun. Can you finish? Can you just finish so that we finish on that segment?
Okay. Just a minute, guys.
are many. It seems we are many who have a problem with the computer. It wasn't me alone. We need MacBooks.
Yeah, we definitely need MacBooks. Okay, it's loading. Just a minute. Yeah, I think it worked. Thank you, guys. Asanteni sana.
Yeah, Abdi, you can now take it.
All right. Give me a minute because it's actually loading. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. All right. Okay. Is it visible? Yeah, I need to resume it. I think.
No,
You can. Nema, can confirm if it.
Not yet. I don't know. Or perhaps I was viewing the other screen. Let me see if there's a possibility to change. I was viewing the other screen. Let me see here if I can see. Or perhaps you can try to stop sharing, then I reshare because I can't see on my end. I can't see.
All right. Okay, I've shared now.
Watu wengine wanaona, me I can't see. Let me try maybe login out and then I'll relog in. But
I think it's loading now, maybe because
it's coming. Bam.
Get sharing, it's okay.
yeah, I can now see. I can
Thank
now
you.
see. I can now see.
Yeah. Okay. So now we need to actually load the data. I mean, change the link, the data source to change the new source. I think I'll have the file ready, so I'll just change.
Now, let me ask in Power BI, for example, once you've loaded the data set into the Power BI and for instance, you change the file location in your file explorer, will it have any impact or when it's loaded, it is saved that way?
It saves the latter one. So you can even overload it. Like if you had, for instance, we had MD, we had an MD water source, isn't it? So if the initial one had the same name, if you overwrite it, still actually you can, and you load it, so it will pick the latest.
Oh. I mean, for instance, you change the file. Actually, you replace the file in your file explorer, not in the Power BI. Perhaps you just change it in your file explorer. Will it automatically update?
Okay. Yeah, you're saying if you.
For instance,
you're saying if you.
On your computer, for instance, you change it on your computer. Will it have any impact I mean, if you don't change it on the Power BI, you change it in the File Explorer. Will it update it automatically, or maybe once you
No.
load it once, it is saved? It's just an independent, separate things.
I don't think it will automatically load it. It will automatically load it. You have to actually load and the way what you're doing, change the source. I think you have to do that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Abdi, before you, can you please, may you repeat what you've just done from the start?
Right.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. So we're trying to change the source, meaning that we're trying to link the new data we're given right now with what we had. This is the same way we did when we actually remember when we were starting this project. Earlier when we were starting the project, we had the previous project, so we were given a new data, so we loaded that data, we changed the source, and the same thing is what actually we'll be trying to do right now. So we actually go to transform data, and then a data source, and then we change source. Yes, once we change the source, then we browse and load the data that we have actually downloaded from the file, yeah, from your File Explorer. So that's what we did. Is that okay? And Lauren?
Yes, thank you.
Just one more thing. Does the name have to be exactly the same?
What do you mean the same? Sorry.
So if the file, for instance, is let's call it maybe water source, must the name still be water source, or it can have a different name and we can change the source?
Yes, I am not so sure about that, but it will be good and safe if you just overwrite it the previous one you've had, or you can just save it. You can just add it to an initial, for example, like R. After the data, you can add R and save in the same directory as you had in the previous data.
Okay.
I think that would be safe.
Abdi,
Yes.
are we actually doing like okay? Sorry.
Yes.
Are we actually doing the overwriting thing?
No, we did not do any overwriting. What we did, we just downloaded the file. Once we have downloaded the file, we just change the source of that of this data we have already. So we went through to transform data, source setting, and then we just changed the source. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to mention something on what Nehemiah said earlier on why it would not be possible, even if you replace the original Excel sheet with the updated one in the file directory, why it will not automatically update is that Power BI itself, for the desktop version, it carries the information and stores it inside the Power BI. So what you are doing, you are working with the stuff stored inside the Power BI, not from the file directory. So even if you replace the one in the file directory, is independent of what is working within the Power BI system. So unless that's the online version, that's the one that can link up with the file source and be changing it as it's being changed directly. Just wanted to put that out there. Thanks.
Yes, correct, Ray. Actually, correct. Yeah.
Thank you so much for clarifying.
All right. Now we uploaded the latest data. So I think our national level things have changed. So we can see that the percent population now with basic access have gone up to 48% from 34%. And the people helped is 4 million, and we can check that the budget is 30 million, and we have a cost overrun of 10.69% so far. So the percentage completion of the project actually overall is 22%, and we have 19,910 more sources to go. So if we maybe hover around this and then check for each provinces like we did previously, we will see which provinces that are actually having either deficit or cost overrun. So let's check. For example, Akatsi. Yes, Akatsi, we have a cost overrun as well. Initially, I think Akatsi, Kilimani, Amanzi, and Hawassa, all we were within the budgets. But when we actually updated the data, meaning that I think we have more date of completion and some projects are completed, I think, and things have changed. So you can see for Akatsi, we have around 10%, 10.6% cost overrun. For Kilimani, there's 8. Amanzi, it has 8.3. Hawassa, it has 9.6. And Sokoto, we have 14% cost overrun. All right. So we may proceed. That is just by the way, nothing concrete, nothing very important.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Now we say that the names are not that important. So what does it replace the column, the table names? For example, project progress. Does it replace the previous one, the file that you uploaded? Does it replace so that new data can populate there? Did it update? Replaced or?
Okay, and whatever we have created for these ones were measures. They were not columns, right?
Oh,
they were measures. Yeah. All of them were measures. I don't think they were columns. Anyone else who has maybe something else to add on that?
Now,
Mayama is asking.
Now, if it's a measure, because the measures depend on the existing data, so it means that the original data was updated.
Yes,
so it means
yes.
that the new file updated the previous tables, I guess.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. It's fine.
Okay, let's continue. Once you're all done, head back to your visual and be prepared. Your data slider expanded, and now we can select data up to 2024 with no extra modeling and no copy-pasting results into spreadsheets. We have an update of our story. If we accessed SQL database, it would even happen automatically. Everything is updated, so let's see what happened last year. We started at 34% access at the start, up to 48% now. That is massive, right? The project is 22% complete, so we still have a long while to go. If we go this far in 1 year, it will probably take 5 years in total, okay? The bad news is money. If you look at the KPI plot, we can see we are about 10% over budget at the moment. Okay. At the moment, let's look around and try to understand why. If we look at different provinces, we can see that Sokoto has taken a large part of the budget, but we knew it would be expensive since we had to drill many wells. If you select Sokoto, you will see it is almost 40% over budget already. Sokoto is a rough place with few roads, so it makes sense that it is so expensive for teams to work there. We didn't take that into account.
Okay, so let's. I think they've actually just gave us an instruction of what we did right now, right? Yes, I think the only thing we haven't done here is the first paragraph, which says we need to actually check the slicer of the date and then see what was updated. So let's actually explore that together and see whether we have everything checked. Yeah. So in this case, let's try and make this one more visible. That would actually help us. Yes, I think dates have been updated. I think it will go up to 2024. Yes.
I've tried out that, it's called what? Before you change, I think that slide is now moving.
It's now moving, right?
Yeah. The reason the other one was not moving is because it was only 1 year. So if you try to move around across, you'll find that some data will be changing.
Okay, let's do that right now. We were having a view of actually if it has everything. Okay. Yes, it is.
Now, let me ask, how do you navigate between the slicer and the drop down? What did you do? And as far I wasn't present yesterday, so perhaps you did it yesterday and I wasn't around. The other day, not yesterday.
Okay, we just changed from the settings here. We have the format and then the slicer setting. Then we chose the style as a drop down.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. No. Okay. So it's just the view. Even from the drop down, you can choose any day. Slicer is just you can also move it like it's like choosing a date in the year.
Thank you.
Okay, the same.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you also for sharing there. Now our slicer can move, and initially we had only start date and also a blank. Yes. Yeah.
And then also I don't know why yours is showing blank. When I'm trying to move mine, it's showing some figure below, even after clicking on that slicer.
Okay. Anyone else having the same? Because mine is blank. Anyone else having figure here or value here?
Mine is also blank.
I think mine is a different issue. My percentage of the project complete is still at 0.
My sources to go is also blank.
Also blank. Me too, blank.
So maybe the guy who had the perfect one can show us what he did.
Yes,
Austin.
Austin, yeah. Show us like what you have there.
Okay, I don't know. You see, I have not changed anything. I just added and then started moving it. It was showing 0, and then after moving it, it just started showing some figure.
You remember yesterday when we click on the slicer, we have the 0% and blank. So maybe what Austin didn't do, it's Austin, right?
Yes.
Maybe just move the slider itself, and he didn't click on the slicer. I think that might...
And it's not like let me just show you if I may.
Or I think Abdi, you have to stop sharing, because when he shares his screen and also you share, when he stops, I won't see your screen. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I've stopped sharing, yeah.
Oh, great.
Yes, just a minute. Are you able to see mine?
Yes.
So, like, what I'm saying is, even if I click outside and click on the slicer and click here, it's showing the figure down here. So I don't know even if it's what I've used here, or because I'm using number of source still improve. Don't know what this one here. So, and when I use this one, it's not changing. Not unless I used a wrong thing here.
Okay, we're using date of completion. We're using date of completion, I think. That's right.
On the slicer. Yeah, date of completion on the slicer, yes. And now, what are you using down here?
I think down there as like keep all filters. Where?
This one, because on yours, this is the one that is like showing blank.
Yes.
Yeah. But mine, even if I click on this and start moving it, it moves.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I lost your screen in a minute.
So I cannot explain what I did or what I've touched, but miraculously it's working on my end.
Yeah, we call it miraculously.
Show us your
Yes.
ways, master. Show us your ways, master. Are you
You know,
using the?
so I think for ours, we are using the more sources to go.
Yeah.
Could we try using maybe the Austin is using number of sources still something. It's number of sources still improve. Yeah.
Augustine, what do you have on your project progress? Because mine is still at 0.
Project progress, I'm having percentage project complete.
Okay, I'm still having the same thing, but it's still 0. I don't know why.
I've tried using the other one. You remember last time the way Kwacha said we did twice the more sources to go. The first one that was calling itself more sources to go, and then I think there was a second one where we were minusing the total improvements minus the number of completed projects. It would still give us the same. So if we use that one, it will show like Austin's.
On the project progress?
Yeah, it won't bring blank.
Okay, so.
Yes,
I don't remember what we.
That's true. Because I'm using more sources and it's giving blank.
Yeah, but if we use the other one, yeah,
it's giving the numbers.
Okay, I mean like the 22%. On my end, it's showing 0.
22, this one here.
Yeah, mine is 0. Though I have the % project complete on my field. Let's see if that's what I have.
Anyone who has an idea on that part?
Okay,
Eve, have you transformed your data?
Yes, I did. Everything else has changed. The only thing that has not changed is that % project that is complete. It's at 0.
Maybe now you can. Sorry.
Okay. Initially, maybe how does your % project complete look like? Initially, was it okay? Was it like do you have Sarowe as 1%?
Yeah, I had as 1% on Sarowe. So I think as we were changing the data source just now, everything else has changed except for that part. It's still at 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you could present.
Yeah.
So that we can figure out where the issue is and then.
Okay, just a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. Okay.
Okay. That's the DAC you have for project progress, right? Let's check what we have here, and then okay, I think it's the same.
If try and click on the percentage here on the ribbon.
On the
ribbon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Because 22% as a decimal number, you see it is 0.22 and you had clicked 0 decimal places. So it gives 0.
All right. Thank you, John. Thank you, guys.
Okay, at least we figured that one out. Let's proceed. Okay, so we have checked for the project completion. So we're saying here, it says the bad news is money. If you look at the KPI plot, we can see we are about 10% over budget at the moment. We look around and try to understand why. If we look at the different provinces, we can see that Sokoto has taken a large part of the budget, but we knew it would be expensive since we had to drill many wells. If you select Sokoto, you will see it's almost 40% of our budget already. Sokoto is a rough place with few roads. So it makes sense that it is so expensive for teams to work there. We did not take that into account, right? So let's also see our provinces. I think generally we are okay. At the national level, we have a 10% overrun. And then if we go to Sokoto province, it says, according to them, here we have 14% overrun, according to what I'm presenting. So, as per the instruction in the slide, says we're supposed to have a overrun of about 40%. Can someone tell us why we are having difference here? 14% as compared to 40%, which we should be having here in Sokoto province.
Can you repeat kindly?
All right. So at this point here, here it says, if we look at different provinces, we can see that Sokoto has taken a large part of the budget. But we knew it would be expensive since we had to drill many wells. If you select Sokoto, you will see it's almost 40% of our budget already. Sokoto is a rough place with few roads, so it makes sense that it is so expensive for teams to work there. We did not take that into account. So in our case, if we check for each province, we haven't checked for others. We cannot confirm others, but at the national level, the deficit is fine. We have the same as what we should get as 10%. if I clear this. But now, when you go to Sokoto, we should be having a cost overrun of 40%, but we have here a 10.69%. So, and according to, if we look at this actually visualization, we would see that most of our money is actually allocated to install RO filters, as compared to the instruction. It says that in Sokoto, we should be spending much of our budget on drilling wells, but here we have other aggregated improvement, which is like installing RO filters that comes before drilling wells. In this cost is 3.7 M, and that's 4.8. So, does anyone have an idea why we're having a difference with them? Or does anyone else has, whenever they click on their support, do they have like 40% here as a cost overrun between the budget and between the cumulative cost and the cumulative budget?
For that, for me, I don't have an idea.
Yeah, I think let's think through why we have a difference. Yeah, the rest, anyone else to figure things out, maybe have an idea on why we are having a cost of around 14% in Sokoto as compared to what the slide is saying is supposed to have a 40%. I mean, around 40%. Yeah. Yeah, according to what I'm thinking is, personally, I'm thinking is maybe when we were getting these aggregated improvements, which I don't think it is wrong, because if we make a visual, like a table, for instance, and see how this aggregated the costs went by. Let's say, for instance, I click on that, and then we see aggregated improvements, and then we check for the costs. Is it supposed to be cost, or we're supposed to check for the budgeted cost, budget improved cost? Yeah. It should be this. Then we're supposed to have a province name. For example, I'm just trying to think like what they're saying, if it makes sense, if we have the right thing or not. Yeah, it's true that Sokoto, you can see here, the sum of the budgeted improvement cost for Sokoto is 19 million, and this is for drilling wells. Most of our money should be going towards this, covering this. And but now, according to the way we've calculated our budgeted cost and cumulative cost, they were based on the current date. So starting until, if you go back to that DAX formula, for instance, these were based until the latest maximum rate. This is basically, I think, until the current date of completion, isn't it? So yeah, so I'm not able to get exact answer for that, but yeah, we're having because it says, if I open, for instance, if I add to this table, let's say I add my cumulative cost, because this is the cost overrun, cumulative cost. This is the one that actually causes its, what is it, quarter. Anyone who has an idea why we're getting different? I'm just trying to compare these values and see what kind of improvement is actually our cumulative cost and is going to, like, I mean, our cumulative budget is actually budgeted for, if it is like drilling well, or it's for aggregated other improvements, like for for example, RO filters, installing RO filters.
Or maybe they are the ones who made a mistake, perhaps.
All of us are getting the same answer there.
Yeah, I think I'm also getting 14%.
14%.
Yeah. And when you look at the first statement, I think everything is like adding up until that Sokoto part.
Sokoto part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because they are saying that we are getting the 22%, we are getting the 10%, 48%.
Yeah, because,
you see?
yeah, because if the costs were distributed otherwise, for instance, we would have gotten a different values for that the national level cost overrun. I'm sure it would have changed. If Sokoto had changed to 40%, then overall will also have changed, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, at the national level, yeah. So I don't think maybe we are right, but we'll see maybe up there if we have something different. So yeah, because if for instance the cost overrun for Sokoto is different, it will actually contribute to the national level as well, right? Right. All right, we proceed.
Open up a new visual page and create a key indicators visual. Think about what we want to analyze and what could explain the high cost. Examples could include the town, province, location type, or even the time it takes to complete a project. Calculate the time difference with a column. What I could see from the key influencers: when we have to drill wells, it is expensive. We took this into account in our budget, so this is not the reason for the high cost. So do we deal with the first part, or should I continue reading?
Let's deal with the first part. I think that would be wise.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. So we're supposed to get visuals, and these visuals will actually be testing for different analysis. We'll test analysis for town, province, location type, and we'll also try to check for the complete time it takes to complete a project. Anyone has an idea of the first step? Okay. So what we are trying to do, I think, we're trying to analyze, like, see the costs, why the costs are high. So we need to create different visuals and different, I think, indicators. So we can start with someone to maybe help us choose one of the visuals for us to compare. For example, starting with town, if we want to compare how the costs are changing in regards with the towns, basically. Yeah. So let's try maybe stacked column charts. We will just maybe change later. Let's try this, and then what we're trying to check is for towns. How are the towns? How the cost is changing? So in this case, what is the cost that we are looking at? So we are looking at we're trying to see what's driving the cost to be higher. Are we supposed to look at the cumulative cost or the budgeted improved cost? All right. So let's try for the cumulative cost. I'm just thinking the cumulative cost, and then we add to maybe the aggregated improvement. I'm just trying to come up with something that actually would make sense and maybe answer our question because we need to also look at the sources that are improved. So we work through this axis and this wells. So let's get rid of that there. Then see maybe the x-axis we have, on the y-axis we have cumulative cost. Then we have aggregated improved. All right. I think this will not be a good one to use. Let me just try and use this. Then see in my y-axis, I'm going to have maybe towns. And if you have an idea, please don't feel like we're just trying and see and we're trying to see what works. Okay. So yeah, let's have aggregated as our legend. Okay, what does this mean now? Let's try and analyze here if we are getting, maybe have an answer to what I'm talking about. All right. Does this answer our first question? For instance, we are just talking about the wells, if as far as wells is concerned. Drilling wells. Okay. Get back to the report and we continue. Let's say this for town. Maybe we'll change it. Let's continue for the rest. If that one doesn't answer. The other one is province, right?
Can you go back to the slide? I check on something.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm thinking is when we say here, when it says we took this into our budget, that means that we had actually budgeted improved costs as initially we calculated. We had that, and then we had this cumulative cost that was actually like the money that was added up that was unplanned for. These are the cost overhead. Okay, so if we compare between the two, the cost, cumulative cost, and the budgeted improved cost, that will give us something. It means that if our cumulative cost is higher than the budgeted improved cost, then that means we are cost over, and like we not budget for that. And if we have our budgeted improved cost higher than the cumulative cost, then it means that we have accounted for that as well, because our budgeted improved cost exceeds our cumulative cost. That is what I'm thinking. So we compare those two, and then we also have but we can't have four of them in the same axis. So let's try and see if three we can take the best, because we can leave the town, not town, because that town has to appear at some point. Let's try and take cumulative cost and budgeted improved cost. Do we try that, or someone else has a different view on what we should actually check? Oh?
Abdi,
Yes.
on that first line of the slide,
Yeah.
they've mentioned that we should create a key indicators visual.
Yes.
And we think about what we want to analyze that could explain the high cost. So on the dashboard, on the Power BI, on the visuals,
Yes.
there's a visual called the key influencers. So when you select on the key influencers, it has options of what you're analyzing. So in our case, we're analyzing the cost. And then now there's an option to explain by. So I think maybe on the analyze by, we can put the cost and then we explain by maybe the town and all those
Yes,
things.
perfect. Perfect. I mean, yes, and that's actually, thank you. That's actually what I think. All right. Where is key influencers?
Should be on the second line from the bottom after the PY.
The PY, this one, right?
The second one. I think it's the key influencers. That one.
All right. So what we want to analyze is the cost, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then explain by town. So it says no influencers found. Try adding more fields. So are we supposed to add also for the province?
We could add and see what happens.
Okay.
Unless there's someone with a different opinion. But I think for mine, I had added the cost, not the cumulative cost, but the cost, just cost on the analyze. I don't know if that's the right figure to use.
Okay. Let's try and use using the cost. Okay. 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 Yep. So if we check for what influences costs to increase, it says when the average cost increases by, so town is actually, for example, a value, and town is rural, so 3.7. Can someone else have can someone else have a different explanation to this, or maybe understands better?
Hello, maybe I can try.
Okay.
So if we go back to the slides, that explanation which is there below, what I could see from the key influencers, when we have drills, we also have sources in rural areas, and also there is the last one of how long it take. And hapo juu they had said first we have to calculate the time difference with a column. So I think we have to, in our let me check. The explain by, we have to explain by the number of days and the town, and also the aggregated improvement. This is the type that is being improved. So that now at least now we can be able to relate what we found with the explanation there below.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the first thing is we can start by calculating the time difference.
As a column?
Yeah, as a column.
All right.
can just name it number of days and then we can work with that.
Okay. Okay.
So it will be equal to the date of completion, we subtract the date started.
Okay. Will that give us the right column?
Yeah.
Okay. Date of completion. We want days, right?
Yeah, so subtract date started.
Yep. Does it? If we want the number of days, I think we should specify as a day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's probably confirm those values are okay.
Okay,
The number of days.
change the data type now because it's supposed to be a decimal, not date or time.
Yes. It should be in the same format as the rest, isn't it? You said what? It should be date only, and then format should be the way we actually made the others, right? Year, month, and day.
No, because this one we are counting how many days.
Okay.
The data type should be a decimal number. Yeah, so if you change the data type, then it will be okay.
Okay.
You can go through the filters and see if it has worked. You can filter by the area and see whether.
Okay.
Okay, yours is different than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remove the date specifying by day?
Yeah, I think because you're calculating the date of completion, you should specify it by date, because maybe the start date would be sometime in 2023 and the completion is in 2024. They will only indicate that specific day, say Monday, Tuesday, as maybe numeric numbers, I think.
Yeah. Okay, what do you have here as your number of days? For instance, the first one, what do you have?
Okay, let me see.
Let's check.
So I had not specified by either the day or the date. So I'm getting from 0 up to ranging up to 55 days.
5 days, right?
So
okay,
I think
this is what I'm thinking. Maybe we try it this way. Date difference, and then we day started, and then we subtract the day completed, and then we choose. Not even subtract, you can just update. So let's try if this works, and then see if we have the same value here. Then we'll try to make sense what this is about. So also, what I'm thinking is like without us having date of completion and date of actually date started, we will not be having a value there, number of days. I don't think we'll be having a value there. So we need to filter out also date of completion. That's what I'm thinking, and date started as well. So, for instance, we filter this the same. All right, that's okay. And get started. Filter this sort of backlog. We filter this as completed. We will have dates filled in. And in here, instead of having decimals, I think we need to change the format of the day to the date. And then here we okay. All right. So it's not giving us what I thought it would give us. Anyone else has a different idea on this? Because I can see it's giving us the year instead of. Normally, I was expecting it to subtract itself and give me values like 0, 1 here.
Abdi, I've done the first thing that you did, and it's giving me numbers, and I have a value of 55 as Mercy was talking about.
Okay.
What we did the first time, okay. But now without the day.
Without the day.
Yeah, and then now you change it into a whole number.
Not decimal.
Yeah, because days, if it's half a day, that is considered as a day, a full day.
All right. Okay, I'm still having.
Then filter, because the first we didn't have values on the first few rows. Yeah.
Right.
And select blank. We see. Maybe you can unselect blank. Select all, yeah, then.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it's okay now.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So from here, so we have created a column for the time it takes to complete the projects, and what we're supposed to now explain is this first statement. Yeah. Okay. Anyone? Yes, I think there was someone was trying, right?
Which statement are we explaining?
We're explaining for the drilling wells.
So for you to explain the drills, you have to add the aggregated improvement under the analyze by, so that now we can see the visual how it is.
Analyze by. So
yeah, add the aggregated improvement type under the analyze by. No, explain by. Sorry, explain by.
So we were analyzing cost explained by aggregated improvement cost and town, right?
Yeah, and the number of days.
Of days. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, what do we have here?
What kind of issue is this?
It's key indicators.
Oh.
Key influencers. Not key indicators, key influencers. Okay, next to this Python visual.
Okay, thank you.
Could you paste that DAX you just created?
Okay, right.
And also, Lauren, you'll update it in the Google Docs. Is it Docs? That
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. So let's try and explain this what we have here in our key influencers visual. So the person who was guiding us, could you please maybe take us through if you have an idea of what we just did?
Okay, so your screen is not clear. So because I had done it, so I'll just choose mine to explain.
That's fine, no problem.
Okay. So I used the sum of number of days and town and the aggregated improvement type. So the first one is when the aggregated improvement type is improvement is drill well, the average cost increases by, they have shown by 5.84K if it's in your case.
Yes, it is.
Yes, because drilling a well, obviously, drilling, it takes a lot of manpower. You have to have machines, so that one obviously will increase the cost of machine and also the cost of the people operating it. So that's how. But then when we look at the document, they had said that one they had taken into account. So this is not the reason for the high cost. So it's like they want us to find out why the cost have increased in this, because the other one was done in. This is for 2024, so they want us to find out why the cost increased in this year. So for drills, well, they had taken into account. Also for the sources, when sources are rural, there is the second one, aggregated improvement is installed. Okay, and then town is rural, Kilimani, the amount increases by 3.71 thousand. Town is rural in Sokoto, the amount also increases by 3.42. So those ones they had taken into account. So then the last one, when job takes long, cost go up. This has two components if you think about it. One is that certain job take longer. Installing 8 taps at a location takes much longer than installing a filter. But the second component of why a job can take so long is the time it takes to travel to a new location. These travel days can add up a lot over the course of a project and add cost. If you go to the key influencer, we have when the sum of number of days goes up by 8 days or more than that, the cost also increases. And they have explained by maybe it's the location or maybe it's the type of improvement that is being done. That is how I could have explained that.
All right. Thank you. I think it makes sense. Anyone else who thinks of a different way? Because to me, I think it also makes sense. Or someone else who has something to add on to that. Yeah. Someone is saying you can come again. Maybe you can explain once more. Maybe in a very very brief way.
The whole part, or is there a specific area?
I think I just repeat everything.
Okay, we'll start by the aggregated improvement. So we have seen when the improvement is drill well, the cost increases. This one, it's because drilling a well, you need machines. You also need people operating the machine. And also, it may also depend with also the area. If the area has a hard soil, it is going to take much time. So obvious, the cost will increase because they have to take much time so that they can drill up to a certain level. You know, for wells, you must, it takes time for you to reach at a certain level of water. Also, the other one is for when sources are in rural areas, costs are higher. We took this into account. So this is not the reason for the high cost. Okay, when they are in rural areas, we take into account maybe the type of the road being used. Obviously, it will be expensive because maybe you will need, like obvious rural area, they require, like it's expensive because mainly, let's say, because of the road. And for the number of days, when job take long, cost goes up. This has two components if you think about it. One is that certain jobs take longer. This, for example, can be either drilling well, or they have said installing 8 taps at a location takes much longer than installing a filter. But the second opponent of why a job can take so long is the time it takes to travel to a new location. These travel days can add up a lot over the course of a project and add cost. So number of days, this one has been maybe attributed to the traveling time to a certain location. I hope that one is clear.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Now, my question perhaps, is this rural a town name or just a rural location? Is it town name or a rural, just a village?
Okay, according to if you have done you have analyzed by the town,
Yes,
kuna town is rural, Kilimani. So kuna Kilimani is a rural area, Sokoto, Akatsi, like part of it. If you read above, walisema part of it, the major part of Majidogo, the Nini was based in the rural areas.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. Actually, I think that is very clear. Everybody has got it. Yeah. That's actually key influences actually explain everything. The three explanation. I don't want to go back to what you said, but in general, we can see that the costs here at 5.8. This cost is actually to drill a well. The cost increases by 5.8. And main reasons she has just explained during drilling will require a lot of resources, not just every material you're using to construct is quite expensive, including the casings, including the drill bits, and all of it. Yeah, can go deep. And then when it comes to the rural, yes, when the cost is high because of several reasons. One, accessibility of roads. Mostly it's attributed to access into that rural area, getting to that point. And number of days is actually this one. She said the number of days, it is probably sorry, I think I misunderstood this part. The person explaining how did you say about the number of days goes up by 8.95 and the cost goes up by 4.5. So this could be the reason as to why, what could be the main reason that drives this cost when the number of days go up by 8.95?
According to the key influencer, they are saying when the cost increases when the sum of days goes up by 8 days, 8.95, which is like As sum of number of days increases, cost also increases. For example, a growth in sum of the number of days by 8.95 leads on an average to a 4,500.36 unit growth in cost. This influencer contain approximately 100%. So it's like if the sum of days increases, also the cost if you press on the sum of days and then you click utaona kuna that line they've drawn.
Yeah.
And they have shown how they, like, you can say for us the sum of days goes on by increasing as the days goes. The average cost increases as the days goes by.
Yes. Actually, exactly. Yeah. True. So all these factors are actually related. Yeah. If, for instance, you have a bad road and there's you need to install a taps in a rural place. So all these factors like getting into that place because of the logistics that time. If that time increases, also the cost will increase. If I'm a vendor, for instance, and I'm supposed to drill a well, or I'm supposed to fix and install maybe a public tap or install a UV in an area that is actually located in a probably, let's say, Elementaita or somewhere that is actually not so, the road is not so fine, then I'll actually charge higher than what if the project was being done in a place that is okay. So if the number of days it takes me to get to that point or to actually do the project is longer time, then the cost will also increase. I mean, yeah, that is logically. I was just trying to maybe think through how it's applicable in real time scenario. Thank you for that. I think most of us have actually learned something new, something we were able to correlate with what they've actually just read. Thanks. So we may proceed. All right.
Create a new visuals page and make several charts examining the effect on the average cost of an improvement and try to show the following results. It is almost twice as expensive to improve a source in a rural area compared to an urban area. Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement, both rural and in urban areas. We are over budget in every province. We underestimated the cost of rural improvements in Sokoto.
Right. So we're supposed to create a new visuals. We will do one by one. I think the first one talks about the rural area, Sokoto, right? No, we're talking about it says it's almost twice as expensive to improve a source in a rural area compared to an urban area, and we're using average cost of improvement. So let's actually try to analyze that. Are we still using the key influencers or normal visual? Hello.
I think we are using charts because they have said we create several charts.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we're using average, isn't it? Location type. I think we're comparing average budget improvement cost. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it says it's almost twice as expensive to improve a source in rural area compared to an urban area. So we can also show in this the source as well. Is this correct?
Let me try for the first one. It is almost twice as expensive to improve a source in a rural area compared to an urban area. For the first one, we can use a clustered column chart.
Okay.
And then on the x-axis, we use the location type.
Yes.
And then on the y-axis, the average of the cost, so that we can see the visual. So that whether we can see whether it's true, it's twice in the rural than the urban.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Average cost again is the location type, yeah, we can say this. But if we wanted to see maybe different source, like maybe do we need to add the source? Maybe aggregated improved cost. Improvements, aggregated improvements. Yeah, this visual gives you pretty much what you want, because if you compare the costs here around 4,700 for rural, and I'm sorry, for urban, and for rural is 8,700, 718.6. That's the average. So probably it is double, almost a half of that. So yeah. Anyone else was a different view, or
though I think you should include the aggregated improvements.
Right.
Because when you check the slides, it says it is twice as much. They are talking about a source, so maybe by adding that, you can actually compare the sources.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is the best visual in terms of that, because it's not an easy comparison. Yeah, because yes, someone who, like, from their first look, you wouldn't be able to understand what you're trying to look here, because what we're trying to look is like we're comparing is rural and urban, and the costs in different for different aggregated improvements. But this visual, I don't think, would be the best. Let's see if we have.
Or maybe we are supposed to have four charts. So for each point, it has its own chart to show.
Okay. So for each aggregated source, aggregated improved source.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
For each point, like for example, the first one is talking about comparing rural and urban.
Yes. That's what we could do. Yeah. This one we should have a visual for each.
Yes,
I agree with you.
This one to have its own, and then maybe the second one we figure out what visual we can use.
Yes, we're still on the first one. We're trying to figure out if we need to include the aggregated improvement, so that we can say, for instance, the source, if it is for rural, and we see rural for it. Like, let's say, for instance, we have rural. If we can have a visual that gives us rural for, let's say, for instance, drill well for rural and drill well for urban. If we can have like that in comparison, that would be good. But still, what I believe is, like, without even this aggregated improvement, we can actually make a judgment, or we can have what we're looking for by actually analyzing this. But if we are supposed to include a source, that is what I'm not so sure about.
Okay, I just have a suggestion. I don't know if it makes sense though. What if maybe we include the aggregated improvements maybe in the filter? Then maybe we go, like, we click one of it so that we just see how one of it works.
Okay.
I don't know if it will work. It can't.
It can't.
Okay, okay.
Right. Okay. Let's see, for example, drill well. Yeah, it has worked. Yes, as a filter. I mean, yeah, this is what I wanted. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes. So what I meant is, for example, if you want to check for drill wells, we'll see these values. For instance, in drill wells, we have 9,000, and then here we have 13,000. Install public tabs. Can't say pretty much this is like that. Yeah. On average, I think on average we could say that, but in terms of sources, if we had to analyze one by one, we can't say it's on average, yes, but in analyzing each source, whether the average cost in rural and urban are actually the way we are hoping it to be, I'm not so sure if that could be the right thing. So, but yeah, if for example we look for drill wells, we see for urban is around 9,200 and for rural is 13,000. So yeah, if we select all, nothing happens. Anyway, yeah. I think it's okay to actually assume that it's almost twice, yeah, as expensive to improve a source in a rural area compared to in an urban area, right? It's correct to assume that, for example, if you want to drill a well, it will take us around almost not a half, but pretty much almost a half in an rural area compared to an urban area. And mainly we have cited for the reasons why that could be up. Let's say for infrastructure, repairing infrastructure, yeah, 900, 600, and 800. Yeah, I think that statement is correct, and we have shown for that. All right, let's click on a visual for the next one. It says Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement, both rurally and in urban areas. Okay, someone to take us through how we should do that. Our next visual. Someone? Hi. So we're analyzing for, let's take the provinces, then we actually filter only Sokoto. So average cost of improvement, location and province, then we filter for province. So let's try that and see. For Sokoto, sorry. Yeah. So this. Cost average. But we need to have location type. Does this make sense? It's a very high average improvement for both rurally and in an urban area. So what are we looking at? Let's actually try. Sorry, let's try and get Sokoto itself, Sokoto only. But here we have Kilimani, which has actually, and personally, why are we using average of cost and not the budgeted for improved? That's the question. Yeah, now it makes sense. We use average of budgeted improvement cost. Then Sokoto has actually, if you look at for rural and for urban, both are actually higher compared to any other. Yeah, I mean, if we use the average of actually budgeted improvement costs, which I also think here we should use average of budgeted improvement costs, which I think will give us the same if we use the same. The visual doesn't change. Someone can give us a reason why we should actually use cost instead of the budgeted improvement cost. So if we look at this and then we filter out for that, we have 8,000, 12,000. Here we have 3,000, 4,800. Yeah. I look for repair infrastructure. I have like 350, 525. Yeah. This makes pretty much more sense than using the cost, average cost, because this is the budgeted improved cost, right? Improvement cost. Is it okay? Can we move to the next, or we still have things to explain here?
Sorry, what have you used? Which cost have you used?
I've used average of budgeted improvement cost.
But that is the budgeted one, not the one that was spent.
Yes. So if we are to use the one that was spent, then we shouldn't even use cost, right? Is it cost that we're supposed to use even if you're considering the budget that was spent? I would say it is cumulative cost, rather.
Yeah, cumulative, but not the budget, because budget is just what we had foreseen to spend, but it's not necessarily that we've spent that.
Yeah, but you cannot have an average of cumulative costs then.
Oh, because it's already
cumulative. Yes, you can't have a cost average. Yeah.
And when you are using costs, what was the issue?
And there's no issue. It gave us the same values. I would say rather it gave us the same. It was actually a bit kind of making sense to me. Some of course, sorry, average. Yeah. So what I'm saying is like, what does this cost mean? Can someone explain? Like in the column we have cost. Is that the actual cost, the cost for projected to actually be used for this project, or what's the difference between the budgeted improvement cost and cost itself?
I think you selected the wrong visual.
Okay, for this.
Oh, yeah, I'm using the one that is below. Or we're using that one. We're using the one that is below.
You're using, okay, for this. Is that the visual you're saying?
No, I'm saying the selection you had made as you were making the changes.
Yeah.
You were using the first visual instead of the second one, since that's the one you were working on last.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, like, both we're saying, even this one, I actually checked for, like, according to me, I changed this, instead of having the cost, I changed to the average budgeted improvement cost. Okay, right.
I think it should be cost.
Cost.
Because in my own understanding,
yes,
the budget cost is what we have, like the money we have planned or foreseen to spend. So for example, in this project, I foresee that I will spend maybe 500K. but in real sense, the cost that I actually spent was maybe 400. So the average, the aggregated budget cost is not actually what was spent. That is like the value that we are comparing with the actual cost that we've spent to see if we've overspent or we've not, like we've underspent. I don't know if there's a word like that. So the actual cost should be the cost.
Okay, I agree with you. That's fine. So as according to your explanation, so which means it means that if we look at this visual, it means if you compare Kilimani and Sokoto, it is Kilimani that has actually, in terms of like the rural, that has a lot compared to Sokoto, which actually a bit kind of doesn't make sense as far as like what the side is saying. The side says that Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement. Average cost of improvement, both rurally and in an urban area. So what we're talking about is the cost of improvement here, average cost of an improvement. Okay. Yeah. So a bit kind of doesn't add up if we had followed that projection. Anyone else wants something to contribute to? According to me, I thought we were using the budgeted improvement cost to explain those visuals. Yeah,
I think we're supposed to use the budgeted improvement cost.
Yes, it makes sense.
Why? If you look at the formula for the budget improvement cost, we had something like rural adjusted cost, like there were some adjustments that they were done on the actual cost. So I guess this one now is the improved cost. Now they improved that the one is going to be used, but the one they had budgeted. I think we should use this one because there were some adjustments. If you read at the DX formula, you will see there were some adjustments.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you. Right? Yeah. So here what we're trying to get is the average cost of improvement. Yeah, that's what we're trying to explain as per the instructions. All right. So the third one, it says we are over budget in every province. We are over budget in every province. So for you to compare between two, if you're over budget or under budget, there are two ways of looking at this. One is you can compare between the budgeted improved cost and the cumulative cost, or you can compare the cumulative cost and the cumulative budget, right? Cumulative budget, that is the target we were considering. Even for us to have the cost overrun, that when we were actually looking at the visuals on those provinces, we were actually comparing the budgeted cost and the cumulative cost. So in that regard, what I would think is either you compare the budgeted improved costs and the cumulative cost for each province. So let's see how that will look, and if there's anything else to add on, we'll see. So let's try and use clustered. We're just trying to figure. There's no one who has right answer saying that that's how it should go. We're trying to discuss. So if this is the budgeted improved cost to compare to the cumulative cost, let's see how this looks like. Yeah, these two cannot be compared because because this is for the average and this is cumulative. Then here I have maybe does this make sense? Or we should use tables, like anyone else's idea is actually, I don't think this should be a visual, this should be maybe comparing numbers, right? Yeah, if someone understands between cumulative cost and cumulative budget, they can make an interpretation of this graph. Yeah, because if you look at each, the cumulative costs is greater in each province, is higher than the budgeted, the cumulative budget. That gives you a cost overrun. Yeah, in a real sense. So if there's a better way to visualize this, or someone who has a better idea of us putting, we can maybe suggest something, please.
For me, I think this visual is just fine because you can compare between the budgeted and the cumulative cost, and you can tell the difference, the reason to the much more money to be spent on each. So I think this is a nice visual for me.
Okay. Maybe we move ahead. If someone else, an idea pops in someone else's head, probably they can just stop us and take it back, no problem. The fourth one, we underestimated the cost of rural improvements in Sokoto. Okay, which two costs are we supposed to compare here in Sokoto?
Excuse, for me, I think the cumulative cost, the difference between cumulative cost and cumulative budget is that when you're budgeting, you're estimating, you're making estimation of what something will cost. But when you go down to the ground, you might find out that the cost that you are budgeting for is much higher than what you expected. So, for example, because I cannot see the visuals really well, I think the first graph shows that the costs of improving the water sources is quite higher than the budget that they were estimating to use. I think that's why you can see the costs are higher.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And then, so going back to my question, as he has explained, going back to my question, what we have done on the previous points, Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement. Should we be using the budget said? Because even the cumulative budget, how did we get it? We got it by adding the budget column, right? What was the formula of this budget, cumulative budget?
We use cost.
Cumulative budget, not cost. How did we get that?
Cumulative budget we used average. We used budgeted improvement.
Yeah, the sum of budgeted improvement costs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So my question is why are we using what we budgeted on this, and yet they're asking for the costs, the average cost, not the average budget cost. What did we actually spend, both rurally and urban? not what did
Okay.
we budget for. I don't know if it makes sense. Or in other words, I don't understand why we have used the budget improvement.
Yes, I'm also with Lorraine, but when Abdi tried to use the cost that you're talking about, we realized that now Sokoto becomes the second after Kilimani, which now becomes wrong because from the slides they are trying to tell us that Sokoto was the most. It was saying, let me just check. It was saying Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement, both rurally and urban. So my question is just to add on Doreen, is it a must that Sokoto to be the highest among all the provinces? And if it's a must, then if we use the cost, we'll be getting we'll not get the right information. But when Abdi uses the average budget improvement cost, then it gives us what we need as explained in the slide. So I'm not sure, but I was also thinking the same way Lorraine is thinking.
Yeah, and I think maybe has it said Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement. So it has
Both rurally,
rurally, yeah,
urban.
and in urban. So it hasn't said it has the highest. I don't know. I'm forcing it to. So does this very high mean that it's the highest? Or they're just saying it's supposed to have very high improvements costs, both rurally and urban, in urban areas?
Okay, I agree with you. That's you can't assume that. But remember, we one of the explanations on the slide says that Sokoto had bad roads, right, amongst all, right. So if it had bad roads, it means, what does that mean? It means that we will spend more on Sokoto itself. But when Kilimani, rurally, we're talking about rurally, when Kilimani has the cost of actually improvements or the costs that actually were incurred when we were trying to improve projects or doing projects in Kilimani, if we have higher in Kilimani, then that doesn't make sense, isn't it? So anyway, I agree with you. At some point, we can't. If this is the budgeted improvement cost, if it's interpreted as we are understanding, budgeted improvement cost, is it the cost of improvement? Because even if you look at in the cumulative budget, that's the real costs. Sorry, cumulative budget. Yeah, that's the targeted or planned budget for that specific project. And if we look at the cumulative cost, this is the cost overhead. This is the actual costs that were incurred during at a certain period of time, for example. And if we use normal costs, to me, I think we wouldn't. It means that we had actually not answered or maybe questioned what the slide was saying. So anyone else was maybe a different way of explaining why we are not using a cost as compared and we're using a average budgeted cost. Really good.
Okay. So for me, I think at the starting point is to compare maybe the deficits. Maybe you can go to the national report and then compare, because we saw Sokoto had, I think, 14. So we can try to check on all so that we may be sure if it is Sokoto. Is it Sokoto that is high, or we have another one? So you can compare those provinces,
Yeah.
each of them. Sokoto can see it's
Yeah,
negative 14.
Yeah. Sokoto has the highest, I think, cost overrun. Let's go through and see. Akati is negative 10. Kilimani is negative 8. Amanzi is negative 8.3 as well. Sokoto is negative 14, and Hawassa is negative 9. Yeah. So you would expect most allocation to go to.
So when we compare these figures, for example, in Sokoto, just click Sokoto. Sokoto. I think it's 11. Yeah. So ideally we are saying this is the figure we are supposed to be seeing in our bar charts in page 2. If we add both rural and urban, we should get 11.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, if you add 8,326 and 4,000, that gives you what? 11,000. Is it 11,900? But this is average. Yeah. Yeah, someone to add those values and then see it actually, because this is millions and that is actually, I think, hundreds, thousands, yes.
So we are working with average, but if we just want to test and see, should we just do sum? Or that will give us a wrong. We are just trying to see if the sum of urban and rural will give us that figure in our main page, which is 11. Would that be correct?
Let's see. Let's give us actually more than that, but let's see. Okay. No.
The issue on my end only because I can't see what this.
We can't see your screen.
It has stopped presenting. Okay, it has stopped presenting. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know that. So really, let me just present again. Okay. Yes, I've actually changed to some budgeted improvement cost. That is almost 40 million. So no.
And if we try the cost,
Sum of costs. Yep, I think it will give us that. Someone to add, give us 11.
the other one is for?
Yeah, this is for sum of cost.
No, the one for urban.
Average was given us actually.
Urban. Urban
is 4. You can just check 4,798,882.31.
Yeah. So it's giving us the same value as what we have on our national report.
All right. Yeah, by looking by this visual also, we have the explanation for Sokoto. but according to the instruction, it said you go back and check this slide. It said we were looking at the effect on the average cost of improvement. Okay.
Yeah, when you change to average, Kilimani is the first one.
Kilimani is the first one, yes. Okay, so is there anyone else who has something else to maybe point out or add to that? We can also look at it from this way. As long as we have an explanation for that, even here we have not used average. We had used a comparison between cumulative cost and cumulative budget by province name. So according to the way Lauren explained, this also makes sense. If there's no other contribution or any difference, any other different way of explaining, we may actually proceed. If that's for that matter, this one also I would want to change this to cost and make it as average. All right, let's proceed. So for the first one, we actually made it average cost, and then this one we left as sum. And here we compared between cumulative cost and cumulative budget to explain that point where we are saying if the costs are overrun or not for every province. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. If you may want to continue reading. Okay, someone else to read, please. Jump around.
Well, this data is useful to know. We can't do anything about it. Rural areas need larger vehicles that use more fuel. Sources are far apart and there are many of them, but we can't change that. So let's focus on finding a change we can make to make sure we stay on budget. Let's look at the vendors. If we see vendors that are asking too much, we stop using them. Simple. Create a new page showing the average cost vendors are asking for improvements and sort the table from most expensive to the cheapest deals. So some teams are way more expensive than others, right? So I guess then we can first create a page.
Okay. So what are we doing here? So it says we need to want to find out a change we can make to make sure we stay on budget. Let's look at the vendors. So if we see vendors who are asking too much, we stop using them. Simple. So let's create a new page showing the average cost vendors asking for improvements. Sort the table from most expensive to the cheapest teams. All right. So this visual is a table, right? Okay. So we know we have vendors. We know we have company type. Is it company type or company name? No. It's not supposed to be company type. What we have, I think, first of all, we need to get the cost. So which cost are we using before we go to the assigned vendor? Okay. All right. So let's see. Here we are using trying to actually figure out which cost will be the most ideal to explain this. And these are the assigned vendors. So if we start from the highest, which is start from 1 million, if we use sum of costs that way, is it the correct way of choosing the columns for the table?
Yeah, it looks correct.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. We will see. Maybe if we need to make changes later, we may continue.
So some teams are way more expensive than others, right? But we need to compare apples to apples. Teams that drill wells will naturally charge more than teams installing filters. And we also saw that it also costs more to improve sources in Sokoto and Kilimani, so that's another factor. Create a slicer for a date, improvement type, aggregated improvements in bracket, and rural urban split, and add our map to this page. So now we can filter by drill well and compare the prices of the vendors.
All right. So we need to create a slicer for a date, improvement type, which is the aggregated improvements, rural urban split, and add our map to this page. Okay, so let's do the slicer. Okay, so we're supposed to add dates. Which dates are these? Are they the start dates? Or we have the number of days, you also have dates of completion?
Abdi, I think this is supposed to be on another page.
Oh, they said another page?
Yeah, the table and the slicer.
Even the table is supposed to be another. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, because this will have, I think, same explanation. Second time before it opens a new page. Right, so the slicer. So what are we supposed to have here in the slicer? The improvement improvement cost, which I suppose to be the budgeted improvement cost, right? And then date.
It's saying create a slicer for a date, improvement type, that is aggregated improvements.
Aggregated improvement, right, yeah.
And rural / urban split, and add our map.
Okay, so are we supposed to create all the three variables in the same slicer or different slices? That is the aggregated improvements and the date. And which is the third one? Rural urban split, right? So I think for rural urban split, what I'm thinking that is like a column we're supposed to create. Anyone who has an idea?
For the rural urban, we use maps. No, not maps. Can we use maps? No, maps will show us provinces.
Yes.
Is it possible to add all the three in the
I
slicer?
think they need to be created differently.
Differently.
Yeah, we can try differently.
Okay. Okay. Let's create another slicer for the dates. That is, I'm using the date of completion. And then the last one we use. So roll urban split. That one is the location type, right? But when you say roll urban split, is we need to split each province and each town whether they are urban or rural. So I'm thinking, do we need to create a column and for that and create a DAX? Look for a DAX that actually will help us, or anyone else, anyone who has an idea. Okay. Let's take the map to that page, and then we see how rural urban is going to be. I don't know why I feel like we should be having them on the same slider, but let's see. anyone has an idea about the split? That's if they want to contribute.
Now, when you try to add them all at one, will it accept? Is it possible?
We can try.
To add different fields. Maybe you try.
All right. Let's see here.
You see, the problem is when you add them on one slicer, I think it will look so much like it will have a lot of information whereby it can confuse someone trying to use it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Do we call it clutter, or it's called what? Something like that.
All right. Yeah. All right. We just want to. So for the split, what do we do to the split now? Yes. What do we do to the split? Anyone who has an idea about the split? Because it's kind of, I feel like it's just a way we need to comprehend what rural urban split means. Yeah. Create a slicer for a date, improvement, aggregated improvements, and rural urban split, and add our map to this page. Okay, so we do another slicer and then we see whether that will be able to take the location type.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Okay. let's proceed and see whether we can find what they want. Okay. So now we can filter by drill well and compare the prices of the vendors. Okay, let's check. Okay, it's drill wells here. So it's saying, so now the thing is we don't have any movement or any kind of anything taking place here between rural or date of completion and also in our map. But remember, we also need to actually connect this slicer to our map, isn't it? I think that's what one thing we are supposed to do. So if we add map, then we're supposed to connect. So that when we actually make any changes here on our slicer, it reflects on the map, isn't it? So for instance, let's try and connect this. Anyone who has an idea how to connect a slicer to a map?
I think you know when maybe you click on drill wells, nothing will change on our map because maybe we have wells all over Majindogo. But I believe when you click maybe the either rural or urban,
okay,
that is connected to our map, there should be changes, I think.
Okay, and if we make changes on the date of completion, what happens?
Like there are dates of completion throughout Majindogo, different. We have different projects being completed. I think everywhere throughout the year.
Yeah.
So I don't believe though there are changes. I can see some changes on the map. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes changes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. That's actually okay. It's connected already. Yeah. So all slices will when we make changes in the slices, you can also see it on the maps. I mean, that's okay. Normally, like there's a way you normally connect if it's not connected by synchronize the map to the slicer. But now that we have changes, then that's totally fine. All right, we may proceed. Thank you for pointing out that. And leave us a couple of minutes.
Now, before you continue, maybe you had an idea on how to connect. Maybe I could also learn.
There is. I'm not so sure 100% the way it's done, but actually there is a way to connect it. So
through the
maybe,
EDR, the to change the relationship, the other side, or there's a different way maybe.
There is a way. Let me see if I can get that.
Okay.
There is a way of syncing it, but maybe I will write on the document when I actually figure out how that is done. It's not okay, right? So because it's too late, we can just proceed.
Sure.
I have a question.
All right.
I don't know why my slicer for aggregated improvement is bringing only two sources.
This one. This slicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also having two.
Maybe. Yeah, you're supposed to have 5. So maybe on this field, what do you have?
Which field? Aggregated.
Yeah, there's only one, right? And you have aggregated improvement.
Yeah, but it's showing.
Which ones? It's showing which and which?
Install RO filter and repair infrastructure.
Lauren, can you try to go to the table and see if maybe you made a filter on the table? On the table section, and check if maybe there's any filter on that that specific table. on you see on after the visual side, there's a table. There's a way we've been like moving across there and like checking and trying to make some filters, either there or on the left side. There's this table section. What is its name? I think
I've removed. Okay, I actually had a filter for date difference, but I've removed it and it's not changing. And I don't have any other filter.
You had the filter on the filter section or on the table view?
Table view.
Oh. Try to remove it from that Nini card and then try to return it again and see on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, still bringing 2.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Maybe if you could present so that we can maybe try to identify.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's showing only 2 and I don't have any filters. I had a filter on date difference. So I don't know.
Can you click on the filter for aggregated improvement?
Sorry?
Just click on the filter of aggregated improvement so that we see if we check how many improvements are there. Just on the filter of aggregated improvements so that we see what you have. Yeah, you have all.
But Maureen, I think you have a filter on your, just go to the, is it the view model? Yeah, check your date slicer. I think you have a filter here on 2020, the first one. There is a filter here.
Here.
Like date of okay. Farthest
date of completion.
Date of completion, your farthest left, the bottom left slide. I think you have.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, where are we at? Were we okay there?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's proceed. Someone to read, please.
Okay, let me read. If you select the most expensive vendor, that ID, what do you notice? Where are they upgraded? Where are they upgrading sources? that OD is drilling wells across the rural parts of Sokoto only. So they are working in the harshest conditions. Can we blame them if it costs more? The 4 most expensive vendors are working either in Sokoto or Kilimani. The cheapest 4 drilling teams are in urban areas and outside of Sokoto where it is easier to access. So which team is actually expensive and who isn't? Isn't that beautiful? As people, we often make choices simple for ourselves, but here the data tells us if we fired the expensive teams, it would have been a mistake. Don't believe me yet. Select all of the teams installing filters, RO and RO plus UV, and we are going to look at 2 vendors that assigned ID. The best water purification installers in the whole of Majindogo, Entebbe RO installers, and that ID. Not so good company called that word, Waterworks.
Okay. I think we should do this one by one, right? Because we need to see them, what we mean by this paragraph. So the first one says, MBS 605 is drilling wells across the rural parts of Sokoto only. So before even this one, we should select MBS 605 and then see what we notice and what are they upgrading sources, okay? What are the upgrading sources, right? So if we select, okay, so drill wells, yeah, that value on that one. So how are we supposed to know what they're upgrading or what kind of sources they're upgrading? Those guys, they're upgrading drill. So are we supposed to add here a column that actually gives us drilling wells, or other sources like in like the RO filters and installing public taps?
Yeah, you can try adding the aggregated improvement to the table.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah, so we can see that when you click on this assigned vendor, ID MBS 605, the aggregated improvement they're working on is the drill wells. So, and the sum of cost is 677. That is fine. And they are carrying out that project in rural Sokoto. All right. So where are they upgrading sources? That is Sokoto. Okay, so MBS 605 is drilling wells across the rural parts of Sokoto only. So they are working in the harshest conditions. Can we blame them if it costs more? The 4 most expensive vendors are working either in Sokoto or Kilimani. Can we verify this if that is true? The 4 most expensive vendors. So the second one is this one. So they're working in still in actually Sokoto. This one is working in Kilimani, rural Kilimani, and the 4th one is also working. So 2 are working in Sokoto and 2 are working in rural Kilimani. And yeah, so that makes sense. So the cheapest 4 drilling teams are in urban areas and outside Sokoto, where it is easier to access. So which teams is actually expensive and who isn't? Let's check that those teams who are actually working outside Sokoto and the 4 cheapest drilling wells. All right, so if we go here, I think these are the 4 cheapest, isn't it? So we start from the top. They're working in All right. So this one, these are the four. Okay, let's start from the cheapest, which is 54,000. These guys, yeah. So they're working in rural Hawassa and rural Akatsi. Okay, followed by these guys. They're working in Akatsi and Amanzi and some part of rural Sokoto. So that most cheapest is it works in right. It works in still it works in rural Katsi and some part of rural Kilimani. And this one as well works in Kilimani and Sokoto. All right.
Abdi, are we supposed to check? Because we've filtered for rural, and aren't we supposed to check for everything and see which is the cheapest? Because this one has limited only to
rural. Okay.
Rural and drill.
All right.
Abdi, I think maybe in our table,
yeah,
we can add the province name and the location type.
In our table.
Yes.
Okay. Province name and the location type. All right. Yeah, I think this gives a better view than having to go and check in the map. Yeah. So we have selected for all, Lauren. So the four, if you look at the cheapest now, these guys, we can also add company name. I think we can identify who they are, right? Company name, I think, will also work. If we add this company name, it's not going to work. Owner name, let's see. No, then the owner name doesn't imply. So yeah, okay. All right. Let me just expand this big, and then so that we can just probably analyze this for one. So yeah, the cheapest. These are the cheapest we have. They're working Hawassa, Akatsi, and they're working in the urban. I think four cheapest vendors are working in the urban area. There's Koto, urban, Hawassa, Akatsi, and Hawassa. So are we supposed to identify who they are? Saying the cheapest 4 drilling teams are in urban areas and outside of Sokoto, where it is easier to access. So which team is actually expensive and who isn't? Sorry. To identify. I don't think we are supposed to identify them by name or by company name. That's fine. So as long as you've identified the ID, that is like, for example, this is the cheapest and this is the most expensive among the 4 cheapest drilling teams. So we can maybe note this MDL 944 is the least cheapest amongst these 4. Like that, yeah. I mean, that's I think that's enough explanation for that. Anything else, or have I skipped something in explaining that? Yeah, it's logical. It makes sense. So isn't that beautiful? As people, we often make choices simple for ourselves, but here, the data tells us if we fired the expensive teams, it would have been a mistake. Don't believe me yet. Somehow, select all the teams installing filters, RO plus UV, and we are going to look at 2 vendors. Vendor that ID, the best water purification installers in the whole of Majidogo, and Tebe RO installers, and that are not so good company called that. All right. So any idea what we any person with an idea what we should do here? So we select all the teams installing filters, RO and RO plus UV. All right. All right, let's filter and choose the three of them here. If RO and install UV and RO. What's the other aggregate and source is supposed to add?
Only the two.
Only the two. Thank you. Right. Let's read this again. So we are going to look at two vendors. So that's the best water purification and purification installers in the whole of Majidogo and Tebe are all installers. Okay. So now I think we need to add the names, the owner, the company name, or the owners, isn't it?
Abdi,
Yes.
I think yours is not working because there is no relationship between the vendor table and the progress ID. So you need to create a relationship.
All right. The vendor table and what?
And project progress.
Okay. Okay. Very true. So we're supposed to manage relationships.
Yes.
And then we add new one. Okay. We have project progress. And we have vendor. Right?
Right. You have to select the columns.
All of them?
No. The project progress, it's assigned ID.
Project ID, we have source ID.
Assigned vendor, sorry. Assigned vendor. Yeah.
Okay.
And
then
vendor
here we have
ID.
vendor ID.
Yeah.
One-to-one? Cardinality?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but single will work.
All right. All right, thank you. Was it only mine that did not have the relationship, or someone else also had the same issue, or it was just mine?
Please repeat the process.
Okay. So we were trying to actually add here. This we have a table we've created. We were trying to add the vendors, these columns for the vendors table. That's we wanted to know these company names and not even company type, the owner name and or maybe the company's name to this table, and it was not letting us do. So we had to actually create a relationship between the project progress table and the vendors table. And in that case, this one did not have any relationship. So we clicked on manage relationships. and then added a new relationship between project progress and vendor's ID. So yeah, so we selected here project progress, and here we selected vendors, and then project progress column that could relate us to vendors table was the assigned vendor. We selected assigned vendor column, and we selected vendor ID from vendors. So once we did that, cardinality relationship and already popped up. That is one to one, so we did not change that. And then we clicked on OK. That's what we did. Is that okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Let's proceed. So now let's try to add the company's name. If it's gonna work. Yes, it does. Entebbe Arrow Filters here. So yeah, so that's the that is what you were supposed. That's what you were supposed to do. So it says here. So we are going to look at two vendors. First one, ERI 893, the best water purification installers in the whole of Majindogo, and Entebbe RO installers. So those are the name of the company. This is the vendor ID. EW290, not so good company called Waga. I don't want to read this. This is a difficult read. So I think that is the list. So let's see. Let's go and check down there. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. It could be. No. So on what basis have they said that company is the worst? This company. Okay, that's not the one actually. It has that ID.
Abdi.
Yes.
I think you should select the RO filter and UV.
Yes.
You've not selected any.
All right.
Control and select both of them.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
For that one we have Entebbe. I want to know who these guys are. The ones that are called not so good. Maybe I'm gonna check last there. No, it's not here. Someone could read the vendor ID. Maybe I can identify with that. That's with E. That's with E.
It's OW290.
OW290. Okay. All right. So yeah. This guy.
Could you please go back to the slides? Because I think it's supposed to bring them directly.
Okay. It says we are going to look at two vendors. Yeah, I893, the best water purification installers in the whole of Majindogo, and Entebbe RO installers, and OW290, not so good company called that. So I don't think it will automatically give us unless we try to see. What do you think? Okay, so we are focusing on these two companies, isn't it? How do we filter out by that? But by those two vendor IDs? Right? Okay. Yeah. So Entebbe actually, that is the most expensive. So people have been opting with this company, and people are calling it not so good. Yeah. So let's continue. So it says, did you notice ERI 893 is the most expensive filter installer in Majilogo? They are asking almost 50% more than the cheapest team. How can Dalila then say they are the best team in Majilogo? Good question. Okay, someone may proceed to read.
Okay, let me read.
Okay.
Haha, where did they work? Why do I say they are the best team? Well, first, add the count of completed projects to the table. Who finished the most projects? I won't laugh again. You are still doubting me, right? Dalila, they are expensive. Let's compare Entebbe RO installers to companies who work in a smaller environment. Try this before you go on.
Okay, good. So what are you supposed to do? All right. So between those two guys, are we trying to compare those two guys, right? We unfilter what we filtered because we were actually focusing only two these two teams, and we are still on install RO filter and UV plus RO.
I think the filter remains, but you add the count of completed projects.
All right.
To see why they're the best.
All right. Thank you. All right. So yeah, the number of completed projects, the Entebbe RO installers that have done actually 192, and the rest actually is distributed. This is how they have done it. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Huh? It makes 100% sense. Okay. Who finished the most projects? Okay. You're still going to doubt me, right? Dalila, they are expensive. Let's compare Entebbe RO installers to companies who work in a similar environment. Try this before you go on. Any idea? So we should unfilter this UV plus RO, isn't it?
No, maybe, let's first of all, let's check where that Entebbe company works. And I think they worked in rural Sokoto. So in a similar environment, maybe we can filter using rural.
Okay.
So just add a rural filter, yes.
Yes. Okay, still this only two companies that we filtered. So I think we should select all when it comes to the other companies, isn't it? Not just these two.
Yeah, you should select all companies, not just the two. So
right, all right. Yes, okay. And see, you can see Abyssinia property first, completed 24. Right. a similar environment as in rural. Okay, that's fine. We may proceed. Linda.
Filter the table to only include the data of rural areas and the Sokoto province. That's right. Entebbe RO installers is the best team in Majindogo. Look how cheap they are when we compare them to the other teams in the right context. Now I am being playful, but there is a very hard truth in this exercise. Complex real-world data is difficult to work with. Sometimes we may think we have an answer, but often we are wrong. So we keep exploring the data and finding the truth. In the next 5 years of your career, this is a skill that you will develop, and one day you'll sniff around in the data like I did to find this nugget. But why is Entebbe RO installer so cheap? Look at how Entebbe RO installers Blue moved throughout Majindogo, completing jobs compared to Ugadogu Waterworks in Orange. So I think you need to run the video.
Okay, interesting. So is there anything we should be looking here, or does it?
No.
Yeah.
So only maybe on the video, it seems like that it's called what? The one in blue. It seems that it's like moving within a specific region, and then you'll find that maybe like they are shortening their distance. So maybe like when we try to see the analysis is that they have cost of transportation is very low compared to the one in orange. You find the one in orange is moving on, it's covering a wider range without maybe maximizing a specific region. Because the Entebbe one, you find that they are concentrating on a specific region. So we can say maybe the transport cost they are using or the cost of maybe the operation is low. That is why maybe they are cheap.
Yes. Yeah. Go on, and someone else was speaking.
No, I'm done speaking.
Yes. Actually, I think you're correct because for Entebbe, they're actually focusing on one region, completing the project, and then going to the next region. If you look at the way these guys are working, they are, for example, that blue area where Entebbe have done a lot of job is, I think, Sokoto. So they are doing Sokoto. They come into this side again, going back there. So instead, compared to the way these guys are Entebbe are working. So they're done with one region, they move into the next, done with that region, I think something like that, which is very efficient as compared to the way these guys were working. Because if you look, they'll come from there, they'll come here, and then they'll go back, they'll come back. Yeah. So I think covering longer distances and the logistics involved could play a huge factor. All right, so, okay.
Entebbe RO installers has made the most out of all the purification teams, not because they charge a lot, but because their choices mean they get more projects done. Cool, right? So what can we do? Well, I'll get our designers and animators to make a video and create some digital infographics we can send to the teams, explaining how they can improve and how to search for jobs closer to them on the system. If one team follows our advice, we make a small change, but hopefully all of them take note and pick jobs that are more optimal. If this worked, we might even get our budget under control. Last thing, isn't it amazing that all of this insight is hidden in the data? We could spend another year just learning from it. By being curious and determined, we can uncover the truth hidden within. We'll check it again once we have more data. Until then, take care. Hello, can you believe we are done? Then they have attached some documents.
So, can you believe it has been almost 4 years? It feels like yesterday. So, do we need to continue? Yeah, I think it did work. I think we should also load this data, isn't it? Maybe if we do are we not? Oh, no, I think we are not asked. Okay, we're given data, so maybe it opens in a Google Doc spreadsheet. So yeah.
Is this the same data we downloaded or?
Yes, seems so.
No, it's not the same. I think this one now shows like these people have worked, like everything is completed. Now everybody in that both in rural and urban now have access to basic water, and everything now has been done. So they find like the final data. Like if you load it in your Power BI, you look like even people who have basic water access will turn to 100%. If you update like the way you are how are you doing transforming them, then going to source, then if you import it, it will show you that after we've worked all along from starting and going along to check areas that needed improvement, now we are done. So that is the final document, the final data.
Yes. Actually, the question is, are we supposed to load it at this point? Because what I'm saying, like if we load at this point and then the MCQ asks questions that are actually in regards to the previous data, that is what I know.
Maybe you create a copy of the working.
Yeah.
And then now we load on the copy.
Yep.
They said the MCQ is based on data from 2027.
2027.
Which is
so which means this one, yes. Which means you have to. Yeah.
So you can just make a copy of what we worked on.
Yep. For the benefit, for the benefit of not losing everything, what we'll do, I'll make a copy. I'll save that work, and then we will load again. So let me save this one as separate.
Now, should I stop the recording or there's something maybe to analyze?
Let's actually finish up loading this data. Then we analyze if there's anything to analyze, and then you can stop recording.
Okay.
Or you can load it and then you can stop at that point. People will not be interested in doing that. All right.
Can you go to the okay, let it finish. To the table view, perhaps we see which columns. Does it replace everything, or maybe it replace what's not what is there, and then maybe
Yeah, what's not there just adds to what's not there. It doesn't replace what's just adds. It's an update. It's just linking some of the information that was actually not in this data, so it just adds to that. That is how I understood it. Yeah.
And already see 2025.
Yeah.
Do you have 20? I think I've seen 2027 on the.
Yeah. So the best way to see that one is, I think, through the slicer, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I can see 2027 on the slicer.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can check our national report.
Yep. So this is the most important update, I think. 100% of the projects completed, and there's like zero number of sources still to prove.
And these other, like it was called what? This the one that is empty. So, we don't have any budget, right? That is why we are not seeing anything.
It's loading.
The cost one.
Yes, it has loaded.
Okay.
So yeah. So overall, the project overrun of it had a project overrun of 5.3%. That means we had overspent at the national level. 18 million people helped. So let's maybe go through the provinces and see if there's any important, anything interesting to note from these provinces. Become a bit slow. Yeah. Anyway, I think we will just do this on their own. And is there anything maybe we can have a look at and discuss within ourselves? Nehemiah, you can maybe stop recording for the benefit of those who are going to be watching later, so that when they see the video, they don't see this is like 4-hour video and yeah, you can just stop recording. I'll rename these pages